What I think about old Fat Joe and old Jadakiss talking about the loss. That's a loss for the culture that BET was canceling hip hop, soul music. What I think. If it was such a loss, won't you step your game up? Where do I begin? Fat Joe to me is nothing but an agent. And he had some hits back in the day. You know, he ended up becoming a sing-along is what blew his career up. It wasn't because of his rapping per se, it's because he had R&B hooks. You know, when him and R. Kelly, when Kells got on board for We Be Thuggin', that's what got Joey Crack blowed up. And then, of course, all them songs with Ashanti, What's Love, and all that. So he worked with all the folks. That's what got his career going. And Lean Back and everything like that. But more like hook stuff, which was catchy. That's what got him over. It wasn't because he was some aficionado, like he was some grand MC. And he's always says the most flip stuff. So I'm like, okay, Joey Crack, what's your agenda here? And I don't pay that turkey no mind because he's bought and paid for. I really don't be feeling Fat Joe. So don't come at me about Joey, what he's doing, because the only thing that he said that I think was relevant is that he said he's paycheck to paycheck. At least he didn't lie. That horrible performance for the Yankees against the Yankees, the World Series against the Dodgers, when Ice Cube was dominant on the West Side, and then the Yankees, all they got was Fat Joe. He was stumbling coming out the dugout, and that's kind of like how the Yankees were in that World Series. And I don't know, neither one of them have really been back on equal footing since. But anyway, and then Jadakiss should have been in the conversation with Nas and Common, and with Scarface and some cats that are deep thinkers as far as MCs. Should have been. He just never got the right material. I still love that verse he did on Why for Anthony Hamilton. I still, just for the life of me, I can't figure it out. But he can't seem to hit, so I guess he has to team up and tag team with the I Spy to kind of do a podcast to keep his thing going. And that he would co-sign this mess. When you said all the time that you just despise being with the locks and the glitter and the big Willie Styles with Diddy, but you sent up here with Fat Joe talking about what a loss for the culture. Loss for the culture? How is it a loss for the culture? First of all, black folk don't even own BT. They haven't owned it in a ton. And when it was ran by Robert Johnson, it was basically like after school special. It wasn't no tier class to it. It was low budget, and it didn't even honor the people who should have been honored. You know, if we're talking about hip hop, y'all don't go give Larry Smith, the guy that was behind Run DMC and Whodini, as a producer. I think I said his name right. Y'all don't give people like that their due for being producers, because if it ain't a name brand, y'all don't mess with them. It even within the culture, you don't. I'm calling cap on it because